Hey, how's it going? This is Raymond Dominguez, and you're listening to the 5x5 podcast. A 5x5 is a performance where a player accumulates a total of 5 in 5 statistical categories. This player achieves an all around performance, which is the goal of this podcast. We want to provide discussion and information about basketball, and we will talk about the big and small topics and everything else in between. In this first episode, we'll be talking about the conference finals, the All NBA teams, and play a game called Hall of Fame or Hall of Really Good. Thank you for listening. Date is September 19th, 2020. We just got off the game after it was Denver and Los Angeles. I am joined here today by a couple of friends that really love basketball. I'm here with Jake, Edvin, and Shane.
My name is Jacob Dillon. Like Ray said, I just really love basketball. I'm here to talk about sports, all sports included, and here to focus on the bigger picture. Ed?
My name is Ed. I'm a big Toronto Raptors fan, and I love the game of basketball. I'd like to pass it on to my boy Shane.
What up? It's your boy Shane, aka Hoop Forever. You know, I'm out here, number one Carmelo Anthony fan. Did you guys know Carmelo Anthony can't palm a basketball? It's crazy, right?
He can't palm a ball.
He can't palm it.
So let's get it. So we're gonna be talking first about this Lakers and Nuggets game. Lakers win, get the first dub, 1-up. What's your thoughts on it, Jake?
Man, the Lakers looked great. I think just absolutely fantastic. I mean, so great, in fact, that a lot of people are ready to write the series off already. Because, as you can see, Chuck already brought out the broom. We know how Chuck predictions tend to be, but I mean, it feels more safe with a LeBron series, right? But
yeah.
I don't really think it's gonna be a sweep as it is. But if the Denver Nuggets do get one game, you never know. The 3-1 Nuggets tend to
unlock
to pull them out, but
Dangerous.
it gets to the point where up 1-0. If you're the Denver Nuggets, is it time to panic?
Absolutely. No way. Just going into it with the mentality that they showed the past two series, it wouldn't be on brand with them to start panicking. Because they're the team, they're looking at it like, yo, we are the underdogs. Like, obviously, no one's writing them in to win the series, right? Obviously, there's some of their little super fans here and there. Shout out to Aaron. But, at the end of the day, they're the underdog for the most part. So I know that's the mentality they're going into. And I know Jamal Murray especially, he's always been doubted on his whole entire list, being from where is he from? Kingston, right?
Kitchener.
Being from Kitchener. No one had him as a great player in the draft. No one saw this coming. So I know him with that mentality, there's no way they're going to start panicking now. You know what I mean?
Underdogs.
Yep.
I feel as though when you're speaking to the Lakers, though, right? It's LeBron, this season in particular, seems to be on a mission, especially with the passing of Kobe and this being, a Lakers team he really wants to bring back to the championship for that legacy, right?
Yeah.
So we know he has one goal in mind, right? That being said, what does Denver have to prevent LeBron taking over the series? Do they have any answer for LeBron, or is he just too good? Do they have anybody they can throw at him?
No one. But I don't think LeBron is literally the deadliest player on the Lakers. In this series, I think it's Anthony Davis. LeBron's job at the moment is literally just to get the ball to Anthony Davis at all costs. LeBron started the game actually going for 2 layups. He missed both of them, and I think he missed both of them because he realized how open he was. He didn't realize the lack of defensive presence, I think, that the Denver Nuggets have or don't have. And, unfortunately, Anthony Davis is almost 7 foot and Paul Millsap is 6'8".
Yep.
So, it's definitely a harder match for the Denver Nuggets, but I don't think they're out just yet as well as a Lakers fan. But like I said, I don't think LeBron is the deadliest player on the Lakers right now.
I agree completely. In my opinion, AD is going to be the deciding factor of this series.
Mm-hmm.
If Denver can't figure out how to contain him, they're going to be in serious trouble, right? So just in game 1, he has 37, 10, and 4, right?
That's crazy.
That if you're the head coach of the Denver Nuggets, you isolate that stat line and say, okay, that can't happen again,
Yep.
right? But if we're going to isolate AD now, we're going to leave other threats on the Lakers open.
Yeah.
And that's where it might start to fall apart because the Denver Nuggets have a good defense, but not necessarily where they need it in this series, right? Right at the bigs, but right where the bigs can be agile enough to act as guards, right?
And you learn how to stunt and then get back, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a big problem for them.
Do you know, the one person I do feel bad for is Jeremy Grant. He played 37 minutes, 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And honestly, he either was matched up with LeBron or AD, and nothing in between. It's, you know what, as a wing and as a team with a decent amount of wings with Gary Harris, Michael Porter Jr., and Torrey Craig, it's really hard for Jeremy Grant to contain those two guys, right? So I don't know what more can you ask from him. He's not there for the offensive load, but literally defense. I mean, LeBron only scored 15 points, right? But like I said, the deadliest player is not LeBron James, and it's Anthony Davis. And unfortunately, that Paul Millsap, 21 minutes. They played a lot of Mason Plumlee today because of the height of the Lakers, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough.
It's just not enough. It's not enough, like as you say. And I feel even with the wings on the Lakers, they're starting to turn up just a little bit because it turns out that as horrible as KCP was at the beginning of the season, he did it for a reason because he was just saving his makes for the playoffs.
For the
18 points in that game 1, and I thought I'd never see him score that many points again. It was ridiculous.
Looking like he's back in his Detroit days with this, man.
Don't get me started.
We thought he was going to be a number 1 option at one point, right?
Yeah.
And he's talented. He's definitely talented. He's just, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if it's
maybe it's a 3-and-D thing.
It could be.
Yeah. It's just which way to focus.
Yeah.
Do I focus on defense this game or do I focus on 3 points?
Yeah. Who do they have guarding Jokic?
Jokic, beginning of the game was JaVale McGee.
Mm-hmm.
And JaVale McGee
got into foul.
But he did contain Jokic in a sense where Jokic was missing some shots inside where he should have made. And I mean, JaVale's length is definitely bothering him. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it was definitely Dwight, Anthony Davis, and just like a plethora. Even at one point on the switches, man, like Rondo is being really buggy with Jokic, and who they're leaving on the offensive side when Torrey Craig's in, they're letting him shoot. Rondo is going to sag off him, play inside, and then just let him shoot, man. If we're gonna get beat, we're gonna get beat by Torrey Craig and Jeremy Grant. And that was the best. That was the best option that they did. And playoff Rondo is exciting.
He is back and better than
exciting.
Yeah, Rondo and Howard were actually a killer 1-2 punch the other night.
Yep.
I mean, 7, 1, 9, and 2 for Rondo.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Right?
The 2 was steals.
The 2 was steals.
Howard
13 and 3.
Wow. Plus 14 on the game, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Made an impact.
Yeah, that's all you can really ask for from a Dwight Howard who's in his late 30s?
34, I want to say.
Ooh, early 30s.
Bron's 36.
When you're a big, it's the same thing. Is he? Oh,
man.
LeBron is 37?
I think he's an older man.
I don't believe that.
He's turning 36.
I don't believe
that. How old is Father Time?
Oh, he's 35. He's
35.
35.
Yeah, because I know Dwight's 1 year younger.
Who's the oldest superstar? Is it LeBron?
I think it's LeBron.
Hands down, it's LeBron.
LeBron's the only player in the NBA to have
How old
2
is
primes.
CP3?
He would be 1 year younger than LeBron, so he'd be 34.
Was he the draft after?
He was 2000 and I want to say 2005.
He is 1 year younger.
He's 1 year younger.
Yeah,
because
he went to college.
2 drafts before.
He
because
I forgot they won't be put.
Yeah.
we
He's
saw
1 year
LeBron in college,
Who's 2 years?
I'm kind of happy we didn't.
Paul was in
Why?
05.
So we got to see
Dwight.
more of
05.
LeBron at the
Dwight did.
highest level,
Dwight was 4,
right?
2004.
Because if you
Yeah,
think about it,
look at
college
Paul.
would have been a waste of time for LeBron.
It would have been a one and
It
done.
would have been amazing.
It would have
to
been
watch.
it would have been a weird one and done.
Exactly. Ohio State would have been popping. Jersey sales through the roof.
But you're saying
packed.
you're assuming he's going to Ohio State.
I mean, he said it.
Is that what he said?
Yeah,
Is that
Duke.
confirmed?
Nah,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're
I
telling
don't
me he's
know.
not gonna go play for a top 5
I
school
don't
in
know.
the states.
Like his.
Like, could you imagine him in a UNC uniform? I
can't.
could.
I don't want to see
I
that.
could.
I would
I'd
not
love
want to
it.
see that.
That would be amazing.
Hasn't Bronny already partially committed to Duke?
Oh,
Yes.
I believe so.
that was
because
when
he's
he
gonna
was
go
like
play for
first
Coach
year in
K.
Sierra.
Did you guys hear what happened to Bronny last night, though?
Yeah. He was
Someone was
smoking,
caught smoking
the reefer.
the reefer, man.
And then I got.
That good stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
You know.
LeBron's about to go home
And
tonight.
you know what? You know who
Howard's
he's gonna blame?
do some drip.
He's gonna blame Uncle Jr. It was
Yes.
Uncle Jr. It
Dr.
was
Henny.
Uncle Jr.
Uncle
So
JR left
you know.
one of his funny cigarettes around.
well, you know that's that's enough of the Lakers talk. You know, you're going to see that on the media regardless, 24/7. But you know, let's get to the other conference, right? Let's go with Miami and Boston.
All right, so the Miami Heat have been on an absolute mission since they got into the bubble. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Mhm.
And where has it led them? Right here, up 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals, somewhere nobody expected them to be. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yo, hands down. I did not see them making this far at all.
Oh, Ed, you saw
They're my dark horse team.
Dark
I remember
Horse.
that.
You had them beating Philadelphia?
Wait.
Who'd they play?
Miami or Boston?
Didn't
Boston,
face-
sorry.
I had Miami winning Indiana.
Yeah.
I had them. They had a good chance against the Bucks.
I think we all had them on the Bucks.
I don't see.
I
I
kind of
didn't.
thought the Bucks
I didn't
would
have
win
them.
at
I didn't
first.
have them at the
Really?
Celtics.
Yeah? Okay.
I didn't have them against the Celtics. I didn't have a choice in the Bucks because I personally don't believe in the way the Bucks are built.
Yeah.
I don't.
They
think
just
it's,
had too many.
it's not that great of a team.
And why do you say that? Like, what's the one thing that was at fault for the Bucks?
They're lacking creators. So what they have is Giannis,
Yeah.
who has the special ability to create at the rim because of that length. He can 1-2 from anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? They got Middleton, who can most of the time create a shot, right? Sometimes when the defense is focused solely on him, he has difficulties creating shots.
Yeah.
You got Eric Bledsoe,
Mhm.
who
Baby LeBron.
baby Bron, he can create shots in terms of he's actually very quick. He can get to the rim, but he's
Yeah.
not someone who's going to carry your offense at all, right?
Mhm.
If I need to say, if I'm a coach, I
Yeah.
say, go and get me a bucket. He's not who I'm looking
Absolutely
for.
not.
To say, go get me a
Absolutely
bucket, right?
not.
And then I'm looking at the rest of the roster, right?
Yeah.
And those are just role players,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So it's like,
I mean, they got some young prospects in
Mhm.
Dante DiVincenzo,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, but well, I think you said it, Jake, too, before that. You're only going to go so far with Eric Bledsoe being your starting point guard.
Yeah.
You're
That's
only
correct.
going to go so far. And yeah, no, you're definitely right. The lack of creators, you know, I mean, that's why the rumors right now that you're going to get CP3 in the offseason.
I actually
You're going
saw
to try.
something where
They're
they
going to
said
try
that
to get CP3.
going
They're
to.
not going for CP3.
not anymore. And I think that's the smart move.
Yeah.
oh, you do.
Yeah, just in terms of like realistically, you're gonna give up so much of your depth
Mm-hmm.
to get an older point guard who's making what 40 million next year,
Yeah.
and there's no guarantee he'll be able to play the same level he's playing at this year.
I
Right?
think he'll play the same level just
Mhm.
because that's the way he plays. I don't think it's too physical.
Mhm.
But I do agree with you that actually, as I think about it, I don't know if it's that great of a fit
Mhm.
as what you'd have to give up to get him
Exactly.
might just counteract what he
Yeah.
would bring in the first place, right?
Yeah, like
Because who is he setting up? Giannis
Yeah.
for 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe-
No, you're
maybe
right.
Middleton,
You're right.
Maybe
You know what I'm saying?
It's just
Some
Lob
lobs,
City in
just Lob
Wisconsin.
City.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
'Cause-
but he had Lob City with 2 better lob catchers.
Yeah.
And how did that work?
Yeah. And he did have the depth.
You're looking.
Yeah.
You're
And he
looking
did
at
have
me.
the depth.
You're looking at me like you don't think Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan catch better lobs than Giannis.
Giannis could do the same.
no.
First of
no.
all, can I just say we're not going to disrespect DeAndre Jordan, who has the greatest lob of all time.
Oh, hands down.
So we can't disrespect that man. Blake Griffin?
As a
Stop.
role man, though, it's not even just the catching the lob. Though.
No,
It's
but
like,
that's
Put
what
his
we're talking
hand
about.
on
And then-
Gasol's
Yeah.
head.
I'm talking about as a roll man. Though.
He
No,
said
but
he
just
grabbed
straight lob,
Timothy.
straight
He
lob. Straight lobs, I'd rather
grabbed.
have- I'd rather-
Grabbed
okay.
Timothy
I'm talking about as
Mozgov.
the roll
Put his
man.
He
hand.
said, "Come here."
I'm talking about
He
as
said-
the roll man, not as catching.
Come here. Mm.
Yeah,
He should have retired that night. That night. How do you go home to your family
You
knowing
can't.
that the
You
back
just-
of
you
your
can't.
head
You totally
is
can't.
fully in the grasp of another?
Just straight nuts in your face, man. That's all it was. It's nut face, man. That's what we gotta call
Yeah,
it now.
that's-
You know, Blake Griffin has that video where he tried to do it to the trainer. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
he was at Moscow.
Mozgov.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you know who is scared of going home right now is the Boston Celtics,
Yes, they are.
and there is struggling within the locker room. Marcus Smart, King of the North, self-proclaimed, said there is some yelling between him and Jaylen Brown. That's what Sham said on Twitter, and I don't know what's happening with the Celtics team. They look so good against Toronto, and they look so well put together. And they, you know what? Both of these games they were leading.
Yeah.
Miami's coming back out of the blue, so I don't know what's happening. Is it Tatum? Is it Brown? Is it Marcus Smart? Is it Kemba? Right? Or are they literally just getting outplayed by Miami?
I think that
It was
might
that
be
2-3
it.
zone in the
I
second
think
half
they
that-
might be getting
that's-
outplayed.
They had the Miami Heat ran the 2-3 zone. The first half they let the Celtics just run it, whatever. Then the second half hit and they ran that 2-3 zone, which swung the momentum. You had like people like Jaylen Brown wandering around in no man's land. The spacing atrocious, and they just could not buy a shot.
And then they were able to switch into the 3-2, right? If they needed to be, like, really effortlessly. That is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah, that's not even so much of that particular case. That's not even being outplayed on the court. That's being outplayed on the clipboard.
Yeah.
That's coaching right
That's
there.
coaching, and that's what a lot of people were saying. Like, Eric Spoelstra out-coached Brad Stevens that night. Yeah, and the night
Coaching.
before.
Even those
I think-
effort plays.
I think the one thing that Celtics are missing though to become like a certified like hands down contender, they need one solid player at least off the bench. Because I'm looking at it right now: Brad Wanamaker, Enes Kanter, Grant Williams, Semi Olynyk, and Romeo Langford.
Well, the thing is, they usually would have Gordon Hayward. Marcus Smart would be coming off the bench.
Yeah.
But the thing is as well, no, I think Boston's depth it could match up with the Heat.
Really?
I think it could match up with the
Yeah.
Heat. That's why I'm saying Grant Williams is still a great player.
Yeah,
Robert
yeah,
Williams is
yeah.
a great player.
Yeah.
They don't need to play Cantor. They don't need to play Cantor.
No.
And then-
you do need to play Cantor.
You do?
Get
They
that man
do
some
need to play
minutes.
Cantor.
Yeah?
Get that
Really?
man some- he didn't play in the first game. He
Really?
didn't play at all.
Yeah.
No minutes in the first game. He got 10 minutes in the second game, and he had
9 and 6.
9 and 6.
9
Yeah.
and 6 with 10 minutes.
In
That's
10
that's
minutes.
not that's
That's
maybe
not
he should
bad.
be playing.
You know what I mean?
The only thing
When
is,
you re-
though, he's a defensive pole,
Mhm.
and he always has.
Mhm.
But yeah, go on. My bad.
No, for sure. I just think at the end of the day, like, Daniel Tice is out there realizing that Bam is not Marc Gasol
Mhm.
and that he's not going to have an easy time
Yep.
at all.
Yeah.
Because Bam is eating some food out here, and Tice has looked atrocious in these first games.
Yep.
Absolutely horrible. He had 4, 4, and 3 in the first, and he had 6, 8, and 3 in the second.
Yeah.
Whereas in Cantor's first time playing, he had 9 and 6 in that game, right?
Yeah.
So it was obviously more effective.
Yeah.
Do you think Tice can play better defense than Cantor? Probably, because Cantor's not a great defender.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
is he really going to play that much better
I don't
defense
know.
to sacrifice that
The
offense,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know. Well, that's the thing though, because Tice isn't supposed to score that many. Like, he's not supposed to score points.
Yeah.
Regardless, at the end of the day, if your offense is going through Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Kemba Walker,
Yeah.
if they can't provide, then you lose the game. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, right?
And I think to build right on that, because your offense is being Tatum, Brown, Kemba, you don't have Hayward. We don't know if he's coming back. That means Smart is more important than ever.
Yeah.
It's
hands down.
do or die with Smart. If he's not playing well, you are not going to win that game.
Yeah.
He needs to be there every single. And he hasn't really been playing horrible. That first game, 26,
Mhm.
right? Second game, 14. But he also had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, a steal. You know what I mean? So he's doing things on the court, but he's not, he's not being that number 3, number 4 option.
Yeah,
I said number 4.
yeah.
Number 4 option,
number
right?
4.
But then if you're looking at your number 1 and your number 2 option, which I'm assuming would be your Tatum than Brown,
Yeah.
you can't really be upset with the production.
Yeah, 21
Right?
points each. Yeah.
21 points each in that second game, right? In that first game, you only get 17 from Brown, but you get 30 from Tatum, right?
Yeah.
And they're not playing horribly. As Ray put it, they were up. They were up in those games, and Miami came back. So is it a veteran leadership type of thing that's giving Miami that boost at the end of games to say, hey, we're not out of this. The game's not over. We're going to come. We're going to finish this game. We're going to take this game. Or is it just Boston's inexperience that's losing them the game? Because they're up. They might have more talent in terms of superstars.
Yeah.
But they don't have the same. They don't have the same type of veteran presence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right, because I wouldn't say it's Boston's or lack of experience, because they've been to the playoff with this core for 4 years?
No,
3 years?
two
years?
good years.
Two good.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean? And they went toe to toe with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like they went through their ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
But like you were talking about earlier, Jake, like Miami just has dogs, man. They got Jimmy, they got Bam, they got people are sleeping so crazy on Goran. So crazy on Goran. Go ahead, Evan. Go ahead. Talk your shit. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, man. 25 points from Dragic.
Yeah.
Big shots. He hit that 3 to give them, I think, the 5-point lead in the fourth with a minute and a bit to go.
Mm-hmm.
He's just been playing good.
you want to talk about that 25 you put up in the second game? Let's talk about the 29 you put up in the first game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that 29 was so key because at the very beginning of the game, Miami couldn't buy a bucket. Right? That first quarter in that first game was horrendous for Miami. It was that second quarter that Dragic said, all right, I'm ready. He leaned forward. You know,
Yeah, he leaned forward.
He was ready to play. And he
Yep.
came out and he dropped buckets,
Yep.
man.
Is he starting?
Dragic.
Dragic.
Yes.
He's, Well, he came off the bench in the regular season.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
forget. You have to
That's
forget.
kinda,
It's
who was
crazy.
starting?
It was none.
It was none.
It was none
Ah.
Harrow Butler, and then they would play. It wasn't Crowder because they didn't have him just yet.
Yeah.
It was Olynyk and then Bam.
Yeah. Okay.
And no, man, it's Goran Dragic is telling you guys, he's an all-star too.
Don't forget about me.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's an all-star, and
Don't
maybe
sleep on
maybe
him.
Brad Stevens didn't write him off because he did outscore, maybe outplay Kemba Walker, but
Mhm.
I mean, think about it, you had to go pay Kemba Walker all of this money just to give up Goran Dragic stats.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and I don't know. You could say a lot of things about that, but Goran Dragic maybe has better weapons around him. That could be debatable, right? But would you say Goran Dragic is a better playmaker than Kemba Walker?
Playmaker, no.
No.
I just don't think he's not as good as Kemba
Mm.
in general,
Mm-hmm.
but I think in the situation he's in, he's playing that situation better than Kemba could.
I see.
He's thriving.
He's thriving in
Right.
Miami, whereas I don't think Kemba would be as good on this Miami team as Goran is right now. I just think the way all these pieces fit together is doing
It's
something
perfect.
Yeah,
special.
yeah.
Like it's that mentality that these guys all have, that dog mentality. Do we still have moments where we've seen Kemba have that dog mentality? Yeah,
here
he's
and there,
dropped
yeah.
50 before when he
Yeah.
had to carry Charlotte,
Yeah.
but that was when he had to carry a team. You have to be good when you're carrying a team, right?
Yeah.
So now you have other people on your team, right, to help you out. Are you still that dog, right? And he's kind of backed away just a little
Yeah,
bit, right?
Back away, yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Yeah, Jimmy Butler is that dog, but he only scored 14 points, right? But that's Jimmy Butler doesn't need to score 20 for you to win,
Exactly.
right? Jimmy Butler is like, I'm gonna get the ball in the fourth quarter,
Yeah.
but if you guys could handle the first 3 and we're up by 20, it's a dub,
Yeah.
right? And he doesn't, yeah, like I said, he doesn't need to score 20 points or more. 14 is fine, right? But if you could get 21 off of Bam, who got it, 18 Duncan Robinson, probably half of those are threes, right? It's ridiculous. And even Tyler Harrow with 11
They were
points,
all
man.
threes.
Yeah, there are they all threes? Yes,
There was a stat of
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I mean, it's just like Miami is just like their presence of just a bunch of freaking wings is ridiculous. And I thought Boston Celtics had wings, but it looks like the Heat came out. That's why I believe Toronto was lacking on good wings, right? But what can you do?
I agree.
Yep.
I just want to say something to speak to the dog mentality of these Miami Heat players. Just looking at the stat lines, just in game 1, we're talking about guards. Goran Dragic has 7 rebounds.
Wow.
7. Tyler Herro had 11.
Almost got triple-double that game.
He had 11 rebounds. Tyler Herro.
That's crazy.
11 rebounds.
That's
He had
crazy.
9 rebounds in
Yep.
game 2.
Yep.
Like these guys are dogs. They don't give up on plays. I'm undersized. I'm still gonna go get the ball. I'm not gonna stop fighting. I'm not gonna not box out my guy. I'm not gonna take my eye off the ball and start running before we've secured the possession. You know what I mean? What's the most important thing? The ball.
Yep.
Let me get that. You know what I mean? It's fantastic what we're seeing out of these guys. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And with that, we're gonna take our first break. And we are back from break. So right now we're on this second half of the episode 1. We're going to be talking about all NBA teams, the rookie teams, the defensive teams, and we're going to be talking about the MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. So with the rookie teams, we had the first team actually was John Morant, Kendrick Nunn, Brandon Clark, Zion Williamson, and Eric Pascal, with the second team being Tyler Herro, Terrence Davis, Kobe White, PJ Washington, and Rui Hachimura. Shane, any opinions with the two teams?
Honestly, it looks pretty good to me. I'm not really looking at it. I'm like, oh, yo, some person's not on there. Like, everyone on there so far looks like they deserve to be on there. But I feel like Edvin has someone who's missing.
RJ Barrett's missing.
And why do you feel like that, Edvin?
You want me to pull up the stats?
Let's pull up his numbers. And who do you think he would have been able to replace?
I'm sorry to my boy Terrence Davis.
You would
a
play
Raptor fan taking off Terrence Davis.
Okay,
Davis,
you pull up RJ's numbers. I'll pull up Terrence's numbers.
Just a little debate.
But honestly, I think Terrence played more meaningful minutes on
That's
a
not
better
what Rookie of the
team.
Year is about.
But it's not. We're not
We're talking about all
I
NBA
mean,
teams.
rookie teams. That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about
Talking about
We're
the
talking
best.
about who the okay.
a better rookie season.
That's fair. Okay. Do you have his numbers?
I'm looking for the rookie stats.
Just pull up his numbers.
Just RJ's?
Yeah. All right. So Terrence Davis put up 7.5 points.
Mhm.
He put up 1.6 assists, 3.3 rebounds, with 1 turnover and half a steal and 0.2 blocks a game.
That doesn't sound that impressive.
And he shot 38% from 3 and 54% from the field.
Something RJ might have shot better than that.
And I think before even hearing the numbers, I think RJ will have better numbers just because he had the ball in his hands a lot more, and he was asked to create stuff a lot more.
On a very garbage New York team.
See, but that's the thing. He got minutes, and
That's
he
the
still
thing.
didn't produce too much, right? Terrence Davis only got 16 minutes. But yeah, let me hear RJ stats.
RJ dropped 14 points,
Okay, so double the points.
4 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1 steal, shot 43% from the field.
From the field.
Or
Okay.
no, 40% from the field, 32 from 3-point.
Okay. So Terrence Davis was more effective.
He was more efficient in his role,
Yes.
but I think RJ had to do more.
Well, here's this. Okay, with the team votes, Barrett had more second team votes than Terrence Davis.
Yeah.
But the reason why was because Terrence Davis had more first team votes. If they were just going positionless,
Yeah.
Terrence Davis would have made the first team.
Yeah.
Because Eric Pascal got 28 first teams while Terrence Davis got the 30.
Oh.
So Terrence Davis should have made first team,
Yeah.
but because of his position, he would be making the second team. Yeah. Barrett 41 second teams, Matisse Thybulle 43.
Yeah.
Which I'm also surprised that Matisse Thybulle didn't
somebody
make it
pull
on
up
this one here.
Hachimura's numbers for me.
Hachimura
Yeah,
scored
good
definitely 14, and I'd seen maybe 6 because he had to play. He had to play this season, and I mean,
Hachimura 13.5, 6 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 0.8 steals, 46 from the
So
field,
I'm kinda
28
just-
from 3.
I'm kind of just
Right.
confused as he didn't get more votes because he's 13.
But,
right?
okay, so I
Sorry?
think,
He's 13.
Rui? No, second team.
Second team.
Yeah.
I think the factor for both RJ, or and if you're arguing
Final Roy.
Rui for being Team 1, is the games they both played. Because RJ only played 55, and Hachimura only played 48. So I guess that's that has a factor.
But RJ not being on the second team or either team is very, very weird.
It's weird to
Very
see.
weird.
Yeah, but then Zion.
But Zion is also being on the first team with how many games he played? 20?
But at the same time, you also average like
20?
22.
Yeah, like
right?
20.
Yeah,
so
but he averages
Like-
20 pounds on the guy guarding him,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, hey, that's not his
That's
fault.
part of the game.
That's part of the game.
That's fault. But you know what though? John Morant and Brandon Clark being on that first NBA team though is actually really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's very good for Memphis, but also very, very good for Miami having two rookies on both of those teams, because Miami wasn't in the lottery necessarily,
Yeah.
right? Hera was just outside the lottery pick, and I mean it's impressive. It's very, very impressive. So with that being said, those are just rookies at the end of the day, right? First team, second teams, they don't matter as long as you end up being an all-star or superstar at the end of the day, right?
I mean, as long as you secure the bag. I think
Exactly. And what, Terrence Davis, like I said, guy's getting paid under $1 million this year, right?
100K, I think.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, being on the second team, he's definitely going to get that bag, and the Toronto Raptors are definitely going to lose him this offseason.
Yeah.
I think they're going to lose him this offseason.
Let's begin into existence.
Are you
Everyone
matched? So
will
you're
sign.
matching Van Fleet, and you're matching whatever team they're going to throw TD. And you're going to keep Lowry on your books. I don't know. And Ibaka. Ooh, I don't know about that one. Yeah, Lowry has one more year.
I know, but he's just. Do you want to pay him?
For this
I
year or after?
think
You want to pay him again?
just for what he brings, like he's the heart and soul for.
He's going to
He's
go
not
from
gonna- I
30
agree.
to 18 million.
I agree.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I still think 18's a lot, man.
18 is a
definitely
lot.
You can't be like, Kyle, don't you love me? Like, bro, we're gonna give you a statue. Like, can you
Yeah.
just fucking Dirk did it? Like, take the minute. Pay one to Drake. Go get this guy some money. Like, it's just let us build a team. Like, you don't have to take all of our money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Help
help
me.
Yeah,
Help
help me.
Do you
Yeah,
yeah.
do you love this franchise? Let us be great when you're
We
gone.
love
you.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, you got the chip. We'll never forget you. We'll remember your giddy face smiling
Yeah.
every time we think about that Raptors championship.
Mhm.
Please let us not pay you like a soul.
But here's the thing: do you think he's so salty about them trading DeMar?
No.
Really?
I think
They
when
got
he
a
got
ring.
I think
Okay,
when he got the
that's fair.
chip, it
Yeah.
it went away.
They
he's
got
like
a
he's
ring.
like it sucks, but at the end of the day, it was directly the reason I got my championship that I
Yeah.
worked my whole career for.
Yeah.
You're my best friend, but at the end of the day, they made a trade that got us to where I've been trying to get us forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been in the league for a long time.
Yeah.
man.
Was it 13 years now?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Because he got drafted to Memphis, right?
Memphis,
Yeah.
and then he was a backup in Houston.
And then he came around
He
here.
came over here.
He wasn't even a backup. He was
And
third
then,
string
and
in
then he
Houston.
threatened to go to Philly and stayed.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
Thank
what
God.
can you do? Well,
Oh my God! Can you imagine him on Philly with Simmons
With
and
Benjamin.
Embiid? That's a
and you know
dangerous
what?
team.
They're missing that type of player.
Exactly. That's a
Yep.
dangerous team. You can only get so far with TJ McConnell.
Can you imagine?
He's not there anymore, obviously, but
But
then
yeah.
he was there,
Yeah,
right? And now he's on Indiana.
You know, he couldn't shoot either.
Yes,
He only
try.
got mid-range,
He
though.
couldn't
He
shoot.
had that-
Yeah.
TJ couldn't
He
shoot.
could only fake it.
Yeah,
He would fake it
TJ could
sometimes.
only
So like
shoot.
Fake it till he makes it.
he'd make one, and then he'd
Yeah.
just
I'm a shooter.
Yeah.
pass in it every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
White boy mentality.
Well, with the 76ers, they had Ben Simmons on their all-defensive team on the
Not
first
surprised.
team.
Not surprised.
Ben Simmons, Marcus Smart, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Rudy Gobert. And their second team was Brook Lopez, Kawhi Leonard, Bam Adebayo, Patrick Beverly, and Eric Bledsoe. Edvin, any thoughts on the teams for what we've
First
seen?
team, I think.
Any of
I
them?
think we can all agree that the first team looks good.
Locked?
First team, I would say it's locked.
Locked? Yeah,
I
sure.
don't see. I mean, you can argue, but I think the top five solid.
Yeah, but if you're arguing out of the first team, you're like getting a second team player.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay, yeah, totally.
for sure.
agree.
For
Okay.
sure.
Jake, the second team. Any thoughts?
I'd replace either Beverly or Bledsoe. I'd have to watch more of the body of work, right? It's difficult because I don't think Patrick Beverly is as good of a defender as he believes he is. You know,
Yep.
Eric Bledsoe is also a solid defender. He's a good on-ball defender, but again, I'll make the argument that I don't think either of them are as good on-ball defenders as Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, and it could just be the physical tools that he has. He's big, he's got a long wingspan, he's athletic, but that man can play defense. He's got defensive IQ that you wouldn't believe. That's a good point guard, man.
Yeah.
Clamp God.
Yeah.
Clamp God.
Yeah.
So it's just, I feel like there's just more examples of Drew Holiday stepping up to either guard a player's or a team's top player or a team's scoring option in that sense. But when you watch Patrick Beverley do it, it's okay. He might guard the top players, but they're still scoring. You know what I mean? They're still gonna score, and that could just have to do with his size. I mean, look, he talked a lot of game to Dame. That didn't really work, but I mean, sure, go ahead, go off, do you, fucking Richie.
Yeah. Well, you know what though as well, like looking into the teams, there are 3 Milwaukee players in both the first team and second team, and combined. Would you agree that Brook Lopez and, as you just said, like Eric Bledsoe, are they good individual defenders, or they're literally just, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, so of course we're going to have good defense?
I think they really benefit of like the team system. Like, I think like if you plug any players into that system, they're gonna look great defensively. Like, I know Bledsoe, he's a good defender. I know Brook Lopez is a good defender, but I don't know if they're second team good defender. Like, if you move them off Milwaukee, I don't think they still make the second team.
I think Bledsoe could. Brook Lopez does not.
I don't think so. Because when he was in Brooklyn,
does not.
He was a pylon.
Before he got to Milwaukee, he was a good defender in Phoenix. Yeah. Like he's always been a decent defender just because of his athleticism, right?
Yeah.
He's a dog. It's just, again, that system he is a part of definitely helps a lot to make him look better. But I think you're right. Brook Lopez isn't much of a individual defender. I can't see you picking Brook Lopez to go, all right, go guard him, and thinking that that's going to be a stop.
Not gonna happen.
I'm not putting Brook on Embiid. I'm not putting Brook on Jokic. I'm not putting Brook on Nurkic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And expecting him to get an actual stop, right? Yeah. So...
Well, that's the thing too, right? The one person that is, I think, bless you, what I think is missing from the teams is Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, before the season started, wanted to be an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and he wanted 60-plus wins for the 76ers. And he failed all 3 of them. He wasn't even... and him just not being on the second team is also very surprising for me, too. I mean, Brook Lopez did his thing this year. Definitely got caught a lot of blocks.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, not a surprise. Bam Adebayo was very surprising to me. Definitely from the eye test, but not as stats wise. I don't think the stats wise, but you know what? He deserves it. Definitely Drew Holiday is missing.
100%.
Drew Holiday is missing. Huh?
Chris
Dunn, you think is missing as a Chicago 3-and-D guard?
You know, for a sec,
purely defense.
When he said it right off the rip, I was like, Chris Dunn.
Chris Dunn. Edvin is the captain of the Chris Dunn fan club.
James Harden can play defense. Yeah. We've seen it. He's got a big body.
Well, you know who?
Got a big frame.
Yes, but that was also
he couldn't even defend his knees.
That's crazy.
The one person I do feel bad for is PJ Tucker. I feel like PJ Tucker could have made he could have made a second team because of the effort.
Exactly.
For
first
the past
team all effort.
Yep.
First team all effort.
The amount of elbows this guy's caught.
That's so. I'm saying for this at least a second, bro. Give his spot to Eric Bledsoe, and I would not be upset.
No,
I would not be upset. Like, think about it. He had to guard 7-foot-plus players from January. All the way till September.
Yeah. And then on top of that, having to guard Braun.
And guards. Yeah, he had to wings and guards and centers.
It's crazy.
Yeah. The whole meal.
I think he's the most versatile defender in the league.
Eric Bledsoe.
No. PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker.
Because he could legitimately guard 1 through 5
Effectively?
I think
Pretty
Ben Simmons
effectively.
can also guard
Look,
1 through 5.
I don't think.
Well, I'm not saying he's the best.
I don't think
but I'm saying he's
PJ
one up there. He's one
I
up-
don't think
he's up
PJ
there.
is as effective as some of the bigs that go up against him make him look. You know what I mean? If everyone tried to treat him like Giannis
Yeah,
and just bully him and dunk right through him,
yeah.
he wouldn't look as great. But a lot of the
But
time,
they're kinda
he'll
soft,
he'll
yeah.
put his arms into people, and people will be like, you know what? I'm just gonna fade away and take a
Yeah.
jump shot. Like that's what he wants you to do.
Yeah.
That's a good defense if
Mhm.
you're him. You know, that's
Yeah.
excellent defense.
Yeah.
He forced a jump shot. But I mean, too many people go, well, I'm bigger than him. I can just get this shot off. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, why you could also go through his chest. Why don't you do that?
That's,
You know?
Loki is very strong guy, bro.
He's
a-
obviously
Tucker?
very
Yeah.
strong.
Oh, yeah.
Very strong.
He's also
yes.
gonna get manhandled by AD, and I don't
Yes.
know why
Yes.
AD won't go through him.
Yeah, no. AD is a big that he knows he's a
He
forward.
still has point.
You
guard
know,
tendencies.
yeah, he doesn't like to bang.
He's still a softie,
he,
but it's okay.
he doesn't like the inside. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like elbows. He doesn't like boxing out. He's just gonna reach it, and that's about it, man. He's just gonna. That's about it. Transitioning to the first, second, and third team All NBAs. Speaking of the Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James in the first team, and also James Harden and Luka Doncic on the first team. Second team was Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Pascal Siakam,
Siakam.
and the third team Tatum, Butler, Gobert, Ben Simmons, and Russell Westbrook. Jacob, any thoughts on these All NBA teams, man?
I mean, Siakam's got me a little.
What's a regular
No,
season
regular
award?
season.
I
Regular
know,
season,
I know,
regular
it's a
season.
regular season
Come on.
award, but you know, they look pretty well, pretty well done. I know some people are gonna be weary of having Luka on the first team. He deserves it. Look,
Oh,
man,
100%.
he deserves it. So you can get that out of my face right away. Jason Tatum might deserve to be in Pascal's spot, but
That's a tough one.
I think that's the only thing I would maybe change. But
Mhm.
Siakam third and maybe Tatum to the second team.
Yeah.
But that's
But
pretty
is
much
there literally a big difference between second team and third team?
exactly right.
No,
what's
there's not
the
really.
huge difference? The only difference I'd see is we're talking about maybe not caliber of player,
Yeah.
but we're talking of maybe role of player. And I think maybe Tatum has assumed that I'm the guy role more than Siakam has.
Yeah.
And it's Siakam's role to take.
Yeah.
We're trying to give him the keys.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he just got to start the car.
Definitely,
You know?
definitely. What do you guys think about Russell Westbrook being on that third team?
I love it. Honestly, like I've been like a Westbrook fan for a while, and it's hard, man. Listen to all the slander, because it's justified sometimes. This guy takes some
Westbrook.
Westbrook type shots, but I think the small ball system really during the regular season, it really benefited him because he figured out like, hey, let me not take crazy 3-pointers for no reason. The floor is mine. Most of the centers cannot stay with me on the perimeter. Let me dunk on every single person. When he did that, he was averaging 38 and I think 7. I think at one
He was
point.
averaging really good numbers in the stretch from January all the way to the quarantine, to
Yeah,
the COVID.
yeah.
No, definitely. I don't know. I just didn't think of him third team in my head right away.
Who would you have over him if you had to put one person?
And that's the thing. I could
I can throw names.
I would throw. I'd say as a Toronto
Bradley
Raptors
Beal.
fan.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah, Bradley Beal,
All right,
Devin
yeah,
Booker.
Bradley Beal. Okay.
Devin Booker,
Oh.
Kyle Lowry. I'll put Kyle Lowry in there.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, like I said, what's the difference between being the
I'm
15th
sorry.
best player in the NBA
Don't
and the
put Kyle
16th?
Lowry.
Yeah. There's
And the
no
17?
No difference. No difference. No difference.
If I-
Did Dame make a team?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yes, Dame's second
Dame
team.
is second team.
If they didn't put Dame on the team, that would
Yeah.
have
That would've been-
Well, a lot of people. That's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of people thought he'd be first team off bat,
Yeah.
but then there is James Harden, there's Luka Doncic.
Yeah. You look at that first team and you go,
I have no problem.
I can't be
You can't.
mad at the first team.
Yeah.
You really can't. Look, if you're Dame, you just made the playoffs, and
Yeah.
you might not make it next year. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, I still think, regardless of the way the playoff picture shakes out, Dallas makes the playoffs next year for sure.
Oh, 100%.
So I think if you're looking to maybe interchange those, you have to think about that
Well, I'm just happy that Chris Paul made a team this year.
Yeah, he definitely deserves it.
I think I'm just happy.
Yeah.
With how he led that team with what they had a 1% chance or less than 1%?
Less than
0.4%.
yeah.
0.something percent
to make the
chance to make the
playoffs.
playoffs,
Yeah.
and he said, "Oh no, I'm Captain Chris Paul. I got this.
Yeah.
This
I'm
is
the point
my
guard. Yeah, point guard.
team
The point
now."
God.
So you can never be really surprised when you see that type of play from players who have such high basketball IQ,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
When I can get on the court and be the smartest person on the court, it's such an advantage regardless of who my teammates are.
Yeah.
Chris Paul's seeing the play 4 or 5 plays ahead.
Yeah.
He's thinking like, you know what? We might be down 7 right now, but that's nothing. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep going, or we might have lost 3 games in a row, but that's nothing. The playoffs are coming. We're gonna get there. It's that veteran leadership that he's gonna bring to another team next year, and if he can bring it to a contender, then
it's gonna be dangerous, man.
Always dangerous.
Well,
always.
Same with the defensive team. Another name missing, Joel Embiid.
He tweeted out. I don't want to misquote, but something roughly in the realm of they are acting like he moved out of the conference or something like that, or he moved away. Because he's been snubbed on all of these lists. He's been snubbed. They're forgetting like he's not good, or like he didn't play, or like he's been injured or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he played a decent amount
Why
of the year.
Why are we forgetting about Embiid?
Right.
Why are we forgetting?
Well,
about
the thing
Embiid?
is, you only have one center spot for all three teams.
So, yo, my bad. The actual tweet was, "I'm being treated like I got deported."
Like I got
So,
deported.
This guy's a goat on Twitter, man. But
He said he went back to
Africa.
Africa.
Sad, bro. They sent him back to
Sent him back to the
Oh,
motherland, man.
God.
That's crazy.
Oh, goodness. Insert the picture with his reaction getting drafted by the 76ers.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. But
Insert
that's...
crying
But
Embiid.
who is he going to be like? Maybe it would be Gobert then, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right. I mean, like, if you were to replace one person,
Yeah.
but Gobert had a decent year.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. And then they gave Anthony Davis the center spot, so he's able to get onto the first team.
Yeah.
Because I think him on the second team would also be kind of weird, for the way he played this season, because he wanted to be. He wasn't voting for the MVP. He was also voting for DPOY. So I mean, you got to give it to him.
Mhm.
It also solidifies my Anthony Davis top 5 player in the
No,
NBA.
sir. I'm sorry.
Topic.
Moving
Moving on.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo and his MVP. Jake, any thoughts about Mr. Antetokounmpo?
Look, I love Giannis. I think Giannis is going to be a great player. You can't tell me, based on what the award is supposed to be, he's more valuable to the Bucks than LeBron is to the Lakers, than LeBron is to whatever team he would be on.
Mhm.
LeBron's more valuable to whatever team he's on than any other player.
Mhm.
And that's just what it is. And I don't think even Giannis is more valuable to his team in the Bucks, who aren't a horrible built roster.
Yeah.
I don't think he's more valuable to his team than some other players who are on some worse rosters. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if we're going based off of the definition of what it's supposed to be, the most valuable player,
Yeah.
then it's probably not Giannis. But do we want to say, what's the award supposed to be? The person who had the best season? So maybe we should change it to the best season award. But did he even have the best season?
Oh, technically, no. Yeah, technically, yes. With the numbers he put up in only 25 minutes of play, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
What was James's numbers like?
35?
Because he averaged so many points.
It was
ridiculous.
only about maybe 24 and the 10 assists.
Really? Wasn't he averaging 30?
I'm not
Wait,
sure
James
if it's
Harden?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were
James.
talking about LeBron James.
No,
My
Harden.
fault. My fault.
Harden was
right?
averaging.
My
Yeah,
fault.
it's 35,
Because I mean,
right?
he was doing some historic stuff, and I know he was
34?
mad that he wasn't more in the running
Yeah.
than he was.
He dropped
Yeah.
34, 6.5 rebounds,
Yeah.
7.5 assists.
Here's
If Kobe
Yeah.
had those numbers, we'd be yelling.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Kobe did have those numbers.
And lost to
I'm,
Nash.
Yeah.
and I'm still
It is
yelling.
ridiculous.
Yes.
Because-
Still yelling.
And you
To this
can't
day.
tell me
To
that
this
Nash
day.
was more valuable to his team than Kobe
It's
was.
impossible.
The award is just ridiculous. It's like we decide that there's some people that we just can't give it to repeatedly.
Every year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And,
Like, we
and-
just
and that's
can't
what
give it
is.
to LeBron
Well-
every year. I understand, but then change what the award is. Why don't we maybe do one like how NFL does one? They do one for each like conference.
Yeah.
There's an an MVP over here, there's an MVP over here. You know what I mean? It's if you want to do it that way, but it's just like
Well, here's a quote from a Cleveland guard. If you want to guess the Cleveland guard, he was on the LeBron James's teams. He was like a 12th man, 11th man, but he was a sharpshooter. If you guys remember the guard.
On Cleveland?
Yeah, he was also on Miami.
Is he now in Phoenix as a general manager?
I think so.
Mr. James Jones?
No, it's not James Jones. It is Damon Jones. Damon Jones. Yes,
Oh,
Damon
close.
Jones. After seeing the finals of the MVP voting, I am nauseous. 16 first place votes for LeBron James out of 101 voters. We need to figure out a better system here. This is downright disrespectful, and we need more transparency in this process.
I need a clarification. One of you said it earlier. How many votes did Pascal get?
Oh, no. So that was me. I said he had 17, but that was
He had
total
17
voting
points, but he had about 7 votes
Yeah.
in total.
Oh, so about half of what LeBron got? How is that possible? Pascal?
So
what are we
Pascal
doing here?
Pascal got 2 votes for third, 1 vote for fourth,
What are we
and 4
talking
votes
about
for
here?
fifth. So those votes
We're
can go
mentioning Pascal
somewhere else,
in the
yes.
same breath as LeBron James.
But here's the thing. If you look at the points, Pascal had 17 total points. LeBron had 753.
I know.
No, that's fine. But we're saying that those vote because people use their votes.
Yeah.
Should have
Right?
gone to LeBron.
Yeah.
Nice Tatum and
Tatum, Butler, Jokic, Lillard.
Who's given the
And that's the thing too, right? I think there should be a limited pool
Yeah.
of players, not like I feel like it's there's an unlimited pool and this is what we got.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Rather than a limited pool.
because when it's an unlimited pool, it's so easy to be subjective.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I have a list of 20. Well, in my eyes, he's the most valuable player.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, man.
Mhm.
Everybody else, you're gonna be the one guy that sees it that way. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you're just seeing it that way to see it that way, right? You're not really paying attention. You're not really accepting what the quota is or the status quo is supposed to be. And I know some people want to just go against the grain to go
Yeah.
against the grain, but
I think they just need to change up the system because right now, why is the media the ones who pick the MVP?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Like in most cases, some of them haven't even played basketball in
in
their
a
life,
lot of cases.
right?
But whether or not they
just
play
sit down.
basketball, it's,
Yeah.
Well-
maybe they played basketball. They don't understand basketball.
They don't get the game.
They don't understand what
Yeah.
some players do that other players don't. What
Yeah.
somebody might bring to the game that somebody else doesn't.
Yeah.
That you just don't see with
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
And it's
What's up?
it's funny that the All-Star votes are more specific with their system. They
And
take
MVP,
media
yeah.
votes, fan votes, player votes, and coaches' votes
Yep.
and account for it, but the MVP is all media. You love to
Make
see it.
it make
You
sense.
love
Make
to
it
see
make
it.
Make it make sense.
Well, you love to see it. But what also has votes is the Hall of Fame. The 2020 class had TD, KG, and Kobe Bryant. And the 2021 class has a lot of candidates, and there may be snubs for past years and other than that, but we will play the game Hall of Fame or Hall of Really Good. This is where I'm going to tell the guys some players, and we're going to discuss if they belong in the Hall of Fame or just a Hall of Really Good. They just not there yet or just never was. I think off the rip, I'm going to start off with Sean Marion. Hall of Fame or Hall of Really Good?
I would say, as hard as it's going to be, I'm going to say Hall of Really Good. Now, I know he got his ring. You know, I know he was a great defensive player. That's what he was known for. I know he was known for being versatile, being able to do a lot of things on the floor. That's why he has the nickname The Matrix, because he can do everything, you know. But at the end of the day, he wasn't like an alpha dog on any of the teams he played for. And his career after, let's say, Miami or Phoenix, I guess, it wasn't really the most memorable. Like, yeah, you know, he had his moments in Dallas. But then again, he didn't really stand out on the Dallas team, right? They were just deep. That's why they won. I don't know. That's just my take on it. What do you guys think?
Oh, you want me to go? Look, man, with Sean Marion, he's one of those in-betweeners.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely talented enough to be considered for the Hall of Fame. He's definitely known enough to be considered for the Hall of Fame. Did he do enough during his career? And that's what I'm trying to
pinpoint to myself right now. He early on in his career, he was that guy when he had that athleticism. Like that's when he was the guy on his team, right? He could control an offense. He was definitely that type of scorer.
Do a little bit of
It's exactly. It's just whether or not the decline in his career, not even so much of a decline, but just the reduction in role over his career.
Yep.
Does that warrant still Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah. And yeah, with that being said, according to Basketball Reference, he is ranked second in those 2021 Hall of Fame candidates, right? Just right behind Paul Pierce. I'm not going to ask about Paul Pierce because I think that's the only for sure first ballot, right?
Bench player.
Right.
Well, we're not going to talk about that today.
Second player
Yeah.
that I thought was in the Hall of Fame, but isn't, Ben Wallace. Still not in the Hall of Fame, but is he in the Hall of Really Good, Edvin?
If he's not in the Hall of Fame, he's in the Hall of Very Good.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
That's the logic.
That is the logic.
That is the logic.
I feel
Talking
like
about
with
defense?
Ben, the problem is how one-sided he was. So when you think about how great of a defensive player he was, you think Hall of Fame, right? But then when you think about the other half of his game, you go, okay, well, let's slow down a bit. So it's not that he's not Hall of Fame. It's just that when you see some other players come up, you're like, okay, well, we have to put them first, right? It's not that he won't get into the Hall of Fame. I feel like it's gonna be one of those weaker years where they're like, okay, well, we don't have people to push towards the front. Like they had to push Kobe and Duncan and who was the third one?
KG.
And KG, you have to push those guys to the front for sure. You have to. Those are first ballot guys. You know what I mean? So, but Wall isn't really first ballot. He's somebody that you'll remember for sure.
Definitely. It's just like, so what happens that you have to wait for the players to be retired for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he retired in 2012, so 2015 is legible.
Yes.
So it's been 5 years of like straight snubs.
So we'd have to go through those 5 years for
right?
me to see if I would have put him.
Totally, but it's just like, even like in the second ballot, man, I'm just surprised he's not in yet, right? And then that's coming off. I was telling Shane a while ago. That's 4-time All-Star. I'm surprised. Like, he got that many. 5-time All-NBA, 6-time All-Defensive. He was a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, a block champ, a rebound champ, and then an NBA champ. And it's just, I don't know, man. Those 4 Defensive Player of the Years is probably, I don't know if they're the most disrespected, pristine award now, but 4 times is. And that's you're not crazy. In the Hall of... Dikembe Mutombo was just... definitely amazing defender as well, if we're talking about like the one-sided type argument. But it's just like 4 times the Defensive Player of the Year. 8-time All-Star, 3-time block champ, 6-time All-Defensive, 3-time All-NBA, and then 2-time rebound champ.
They don't love rebounds like that.
Right, they don't. But what I'm saying is just like, is there that big of a difference between Dikembe and Ben Wallace?
Dikembe's in the Hall of Fame,
and
right?
Dikembe is in, confirmed, yeah.
Dikembe's a first ballot.
Do you know how long it took Dikembe to get in? Because I feel like with Ben Wallace,
that's a good question.
It'll just take time,
right?
It'll just take time.
I'm just saying, like, it's been 5 years already.
Doing that with just his impact on one end of
what I believe
is ridiculous.
Is you just get the players that, like, the defensive players, as much as I hate to say it, they don't get the same love that the offensive players get. So if it's going to be a bunch of people who were high-clip scorers against somebody who was a high-clip defender, it's going to favor, the media is going to favor, well, let's put these guys in. People are going to be, oh, I remember that guy used to be a bucket getter. He was a flamethrower and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like those guys probably get more love. Yeah. And that's probably why he keeps getting snubbed, keeps getting passed on, right?
Yeah. It's just, that's what I'm saying. I'm just so disrespected.
Especially now in the age of small ball, right?
Yeah, because that's where the game is going, right?
He was PJ Tucker.
Yeah.
To build PJ Tucker. I'm just saying, man. I just remember watching those series with with LA, man, and he had to go up against Shaq.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Win that series.
And then they won that series. So I mean, I don't know. That's my piece with it. That's the most person I have the most hard on.
Yeah.
Because this is just, I don't know, bro. It's just disrespectful in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Next player, Chris Bosh. Hall of Fame or Hall of Really Good?
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame.
I actually went the other way. I'm saying Hall of Really Good.
Why?
I think you're forget.
And no. So here's the thing. Obviously, he was amazing in Toronto, and I think his time will come one day. But for the foreseeable future, I don't think he's making the Hall of Fame. And he had a great 6-7 years in Toronto, and he had a great impact in Miami.
I think he makes it for the impact of Miami, not even what he did in Toronto.
Really?
Yeah, dude, he was way more important than people. He started the decline into small ball.
Yeah.
Because people had to deal with that. They had Chris Bosh at the 5, and he was a shot maker.
You're right.
Big shots, whatever they needed it. Big shots. Kick it out to Bosh for 3. And his little dinosaur face.
I think it's just me, low-key being a hater. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm salty he left too.
I'm never gonna forget that day. I woke up.
Salty.
It was on the newspaper too. That's how long ago it was. Opened the newspaper. Chris Bosh signed to Miami, bro. When I tell you, I was so sad that day, man. It's crazy.
Nah, but I mean, like 11-time All-Star and everything, bro. It's just nuts, bro. I don't know.
His career was cut short.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
he was still playing good basketball.
What was it the blood clots? The blood clots. The blood clots. So 3 out of 4 is Hall of Fame.
Actually, I'm. You know what?
Have to change it.
They swayed me.
As a Raptors fan,
I love somebody.
I'm still salty, but like, you know what? I have to give this man his credit.
Always
You know,
come on,
yeah,
bro.
you
He
know.
evolved after he cut the dreads.
He did. He really did
did.
evolve, man.
He did. The dreads were the wave, though.
I was
I'm
always
not gonna lie,
salty
but-
about that because he got better.
Yep. Say one more. I'll give a couple more. Sean Kemp.
All very good.
All very good.
Because honestly, can you tell me anything that this guy's done besides being a great dunker?
He's a great defender.
He's a great defender. 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA.
Yeah, that's better.
That's
Right.
about it, right?
It was just like such a good number 2 guy
Mm-hmm.
with Peyton, but I mean they didn't win a ring,
Yeah.
Exactly.
right? So
I mean, they were close,
They're close.
you know, but they ran into someone named Michael Jordan. But that's
You weren't gonna.
that's a,
win.
yeah,
know
that's
what I mean?
that's a different
Took
story.
ransom
Yeah,
from a lot of people.
yeah.
Barkley.
Yeah.
Karl Malone, Stockton,
But you know what? They're going into the Hall of Fame.
but they are,
Yeah, right. And they're already in. Another player, a controversial one, Gilbert Arenas.
Ah, my boy Hibachi.
Love Gilbert.
My boy Hibachi.
So so of course he's not Hall of Fame for me, but I personally don't think he's going to be in the Hall of Really Good. I think he's just right under it. He's just right. He's on the line. I think he's on the
That's
line.
You're forgetting about how good
Wait,
this guy
talent
was.
wise, or
I'm just saying in career wise.
No.
Career-wise.
I think people forget
We
that
can talk
he
about the hype
was.
and that he was definitely a top 10 player in the NBA during his prime. But it's just like I'm talking about career wise.
during his prime, he was probably the
Arguably, yeah.
third most dangerous scorer in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can say
Yeah.
that. I don't blame you, but
Yeah.
I'm still not. He's just like one tick. If he gave me 3 more years, if he gave me 6 years of
He,
absolute amazing
he had
Gilbert
those
Arenas.
years. They
But-
were taken away from him.
Here's the thing. So in his 3 years, he put up, what was it, 29, 30, 28.
Something like
right?
that. Yeah, we were talking about
So
that. Yeah.
if you're telling me if he gave you 6 years of giving you 22 instead, like a consistent 22 for those 6
No,
years.
no. If he gave me 3 more years after those 3
Of
peaks
30.
of 25,
Okay.
then I could put him. Right? It's just like I felt bad because he only gave me 3 years. Right? We're just if we're talking about this
His years were
small
taken
stint.
from him.
Right? We could talk about Gilbert. You know how you say the Crip sign John Wall, untuck Kyrie.
Yeah.
Give me Hibachi, Gilbert Arenas in that too.
Yeah, but that's like a 3-year span.
That's a 3-year span, right? But you could, if we're going to make a team of 3-year spans, or 3 years or less spans,
Yeah.
my starting lineup and my backcourt is New York Knicks, Jeremy Lin,
Yep.
and Hibachi, Gilbert
Alright,
Arenas.
That's fair. I mean, I still think he makes the Hall of Really Good. Just because, like,
I think he makes him-
at his
I was-
prime, he was going toe-to-toe with Kobe,
Talent level.
T-Mac, Braun,
I totally get
and
that.
he was he's what, 6'4",
6'4".
6'3"? That's, like, he was, like, the Steph Curry, quote-unquote,
Basically.
before Stephen Curry was a thing.
yeah.
Right?
And then, like I said, you could say that, but that's why I'm saying I started off with the other players first, because
Yeah.
now, like, Sean Marion's in that Hall
Yeah.
of Really Good. Ben Wallace, we're saying Sean Kemp is in the Hall of Really Good. We didn't
I
talk
think
about
Gilbert
Amari
Arenas is better
Stoudemire,
than
but I'm
Sean
assuming you guys say he'd be in the Hall of Really Good. Even I'd say, like, I was telling Shane this, Blake Griffin, where do you think he's going to end up?
I think people don't appreciate Blake Griffin.
Of course.
It really depends on how his career ends.
Yeah.
So like,
if he gets that ring,
I don't even think he needs a ring.
really,
He doesn't need a ring because at the end of the day, I feel like his ring days are over. It's, can you give me a few more years of over 20, and if you can, that's a Hall of Fame career. Because I mean, he's done everything he can. You know, you're not gonna lead a team to a championship at the 4 position.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But what he has done is come back every year with something new in his arsenal.
Oh yeah, that's.
I used to talk mad shit about Blake Griffin because all he could do is dunk, and I'm pretty sure he heard me every single time I said it. Because every single time I said it, he came back with something else in that bag. He came back with some handles. He came back with a mid-range. He came back with a three-pointer. He came back with a post-up game. He doesn't dunk the same way because he's literally but he literally accepted. He's like, look, man, that's not gonna last for me. I'm not gonna be that type of player forever with that type of explosiveness. So I'm gonna have to get skill. That's a great mindset for me. So if he can just continue with the level of skill he has, he's a really good player. Really, really good player. He's just trapped in Detroit, which sucks.
He needs to get out of there, man.
It's not his fault he got traded there, right?
Yeah, they did him so dirty.
They did him so dirty.
Yeah,
they said, "Hey, Blake, you like the weather?"
For what? Losing 3-1.
Don't you like Detroit? But yeah, no. Other than that concludes the first episode of the 5x5 podcast. Thank you for listening, and we're out.
Peace.
Easy.
Later.